If there is one thing as a woman that will allow you to literally manifest what you want, to step into your power, step into your essence, is to truly understand what your dark feminine is all about. And today we're going to go over the 8 traits of it so that not only will you have a better understanding, but you will just genuinely feel more confident simply by listening to this video. So before we even get into it, let's distinguish what is light feminine, what is dark feminine, because we all hear about feminine energy, but what is that distinction? We want to think about the light feminine. I feel like it just helps if we just refer to some actresses. So Anne Hathaway, think of the Princess Diaries, think of like most of the roles that she plays that are more light and airy, and she exudes kindness and integrity and also that inner strength. And so the light feminine is a beautiful thing. We all want to embrace that. It's a lot more about the nurturing and compassionate and a lot more of the traditional things that we think about when it comes to being a woman. One of the things though, however, I will say is that sometimes we get overly into our light feminine, and this is where we start falling in love with people's potentials, with, I mean, every woman has done this, okay? I won't be the first to admit it. Falling in love with a man's potential versus who he's shown you that who he is, lacking boundaries because you're bending over backward to support other people. So we can go too far into that light feminine, and I find that when we go into the dark feminine, we get to really balance that. So what is the dark feminine? And if we think of an actress for this one, Angelina Jolie, for example, in her role in Maleficent, where you see that mysterious, more complex energy. It's not a darkness, but there is almost this primal aspect that comes through. I think of even that scene where she's roaring, and when she came out of that role from Maleficent, Angelina Jolie said she recommends every woman goes and screams and actually experiences what it's like to scream at the top of your lungs, to really let that roar come from inside all the way out. And we're going to talk about why that can be super powerful later on in this video as we go over the 8 traits. So the dark feminine essentially is more raw, untamed parts of the woman, where it's also that unapologetic intuition and to really trust the primal aspects of being a woman who has mastered her dark feminine energy. A lot of times in popular psychology, or people who don't know, they'll think she's kind of a bitch, right? We don't need to say it on YouTube especially, but it's not that. It's a woman who understands her value. It's a woman who does not fear her shadow self. It's a woman who truly, truly follows her intuition and who knows her value from within. So let's go over the dark traits. Let's go over the 8 traits. Also, if this is the first time we've met, hi, my name is Atena, and on this channel, we really learn to love ourselves unconditionally, and we manifest our dream realities. So if that is something you're interested in, you should consider subscribing. And I've also left you links below with ways we could work together if you want to take things further. And we have also this beautiful community that's completely free for you to join, that really, if you value that sensation of community where we support each other, where we focus our attention on what it is that we're bringing forward, where there's a supportive environment, and if you value these things, consider joining us inside the free community as well. So the first aspect of truly acknowledging your dark feminine is giving yourself an air of mystery, not dishing everything out for everyone to see and posting everything on social media. Like, you ever notice there's some women, and this isn't to cast shade on them, because I even go myself through these phases, where it's like, you can't go anywhere without posting it, or it didn't happen unless it was posted on Instagram or something. It's like, let yourself be a little mysterious so that not everyone knows what you're doing. The woman who has truly stepped into her dark feminine has a close circle. And if you want access to that circle, you're going to have to pass through certain layers. You can't access her just because you want to. She is guarded, isn't the word. She is very protective about who she allows into her life and who she shares all her secrets with or her days with. She has that mystery going on. And I feel with this, you know, there's also this humbleness. Like, there's no need for her to brag about different things. Like, it's powerful to, you know, every now and then post your achievements, but not to overly share those achievements and say, oh, look at me, I'm doing so well. And going into this place where there's a constant need to validate, a constant need to show. She is humble, she is mysterious, she has her close circle. And if you want access to that close circle, then you could try, but it's up to her to decide if she's going to let you in. Really going into that, a woman in her dark feminine knows the power of her absence. She does not chase a man if a man does not return her phone call or is pulling back. She doesn't chase after him. You pull back, that's fine. I'm a fantastic person. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I have so much to offer. And if you can't see that, that's a you problem, not a me problem. And a woman in her dark feminine truly understands that. So if a man pulls back, or, you know, sometimes we even have these friends who are just up and down, up and down. Friend pulls back, let them pull back. Any person who does not treat her with love and respect, they're out. She has mastered the art of detachment. And for that, I've left you 2 videos below, so that actually 3 videos, one where you can cord cut, release any kind of energetic entanglement that makes you feel like you're just either in a negative spiral or you feel like you're chasing, to just gently let it go with light, with love. And 2 other videos to explain how detachment works, how for you to let people be who they are and you allow yourself to stand in your power. So essentially, a woman who has really embraced this as well, the art of detachment, she's also clear on her standards. She does not lower her standards to make other people comfortable, to make other people like her more. You have set your standards, and other people have the opportunity to match that. Your man has the opportunity to match that. Your SP, the man that you are desiring, he's got to level up. Your friends, everyone has got to level up and match those standards. And if they do not, they disrespect you and treat you unkindly, then it's time for you to walk away, because you know what you offer. You know the value that you have. And so simply by walking away or being absent, I swear, silence is sometimes the most powerful, most magnetic thing you could do. There are people that you will want to communicate that if they're not meeting your standards, or there's a disappointment, to clean up the energy. Like, I will do that, for instance, with my husband, because we have this beautiful relationship. We have this relationship where it's safe for both of us to communicate, hey, I found this a little disappointing, or I would like for us to work on this. And it comes, though, with a lot of love, with a lot of respect. We've curated that relationship. Going in alignment with that, a third trait is that as you get clear on your standards, get very clear on what your boundaries are. And know that boundaries, when you're too much in your light feminine, you're afraid, I find sometimes, that your boundaries are going to hurt other people's feelings. You know, you go into that nurturing, like, oh, I got to take care of other people's emotions. Other people's emotions are none of your business. Give people the opportunity to clean up their own emotional process. Your boundaries aren't meant to even hurt other people. They're meant to guide you and protect you and allow you to feel safe in your rawness, in your war in life. You know, I remember even when I was dating, it feels like such a long time ago now. I've been with my husband now for 8 years, but I was so clear on my standards and I was very clear on my boundaries. And I'm kind and very bubbly and very friendly, and you can approach me quite easily. However, there is this energy of, yeah, but you don't get to cross me. You don't get to just put your hands on my body. You don't get to just say whatever you want. And I have no problems telling you if I need to. But most of the time, because there's such a clear boundaries, it's an energetic thing. The way you hold yourself, the way you gaze with someone, the way you exude your energy, you don't cross me. You just don't. You don't put your hand there if it's not welcome. You don't come into my space unless I let you in. I heard this woman once say, hard to access, easy to be with. Woman who is clear on her standards, who is clear on her values and her boundaries, she is harder to access, but she's a lot easier to be with. Like, I'm a very easy person to be with. Once you're with me and I trust you and I sense that there's a mutual love and respect, it's very easy to be with me. But you just can't walk up to me and expect the world from me. You can't walk up to me and expect whatever it is that you think you expect, right? There has to be I almost want to say a vetting process. It's an energetic thing, I feel like, more than anything else. So going into that, I feel like the fourth trait that really falls into this is that a woman in her dark feminine follows her intuition. She follows that inner guidance, that inner voice, way more than her logic. You know, I believe that our intuition is actually the gateway for us to manifest anything that we desire. Women have been, and men actually, to be quite frank, we've been deconditioned to follow our intuition, to follow our instincts, because we have this deep inner knowing. We already know. You have ever met someone and you instinctively know, no, I have nothing bad to say about this person, just no. Or an opportunity comes your way and maybe it checks all the boxes, but instinctively within you, you're like, no, just no. A woman who has embraced her dark feminine truly learns how to follow her instincts, how to follow her intuition. And if you're a woman who really wants to follow that intuition, because I find that this also brings you a magnetic sense of confidence because you trust your inner wisdom, you trust your guidance. I don't believe you need to learn how to do this. I believe you need to remember how to do this. And if you're interested in doing that and you value your intuition and you value following that and having that magnetic confidence come from within you and exude outside, I've left a course for you below. It's one of my best-selling courses. It's called the Magnetic Confidence Hypnosis. It's a hypnotic track with just a couple of guidance within the course to allow you to know how to utilize hypnosis. Hypnosis is one of the fastest ways for you to reprogram your mind, and in this case, I will say, for your mind to remember your truth. And with this particular hypnosis, I've had so many women go through it. It's not just a mind experience, it's a body experience. And speaking of a body experience, another trait of you in your dark feminine is that you really take care of this body, this physical vessel. You speak to your physical vessel with kindness, with love. Just as I was getting ready for this video, I'm clearly out of the shower, like always, with my wet hair, just rubbing the cream on my body, gently massaging my body, loving on my body, speaking to myself with kindness, and doing the things that allow you to feel good. That includes checking what you put in your brain. What do you consume on a day-to-day basis? Do you move your body? What kind of movements feel good? For me, for the longest time, I was more of a Pilates and cardio person, and now I love to lift weights. It really makes me feel so much better to lift weights. I still do cardio, but as I lift weights, I feel stronger. I want to almost say more assertive, but that's not even the word. I just feel better in my body. So a woman in her dark feminine really nourishes and takes care of both her mind, body, and soul. In some ways, this makes you, I almost want to say, you be self-centered in a positive way. It's not about having a glam look all the time and being like all, Playboy bunny style. It's really not it. But it's about saying, hey, I matter. You matter. You are a queen. How does the queen take care of herself? You are a goddess. You are beautiful. And as you remember that beauty that you have within, how do you show up for that beauty? How do you love on that beauty? How you nurture that beauty? So be very airtight on your mental diet, on your food diet, on your movement regimen. Look good, feel good, exude that from within outside. And as we go into this one is probably my favorite trait of the dark feminine. And it really goes hand in hand with the last one, is that a woman who embraces her dark feminine embraces her pleasure. Your pleasure matters. And to take moments to do pleasure practices, and this isn't just about having the big O. It's not just about that. This is about you really taking that time, like as I did after my shower, to gently put cream on your body, put music, feel on yourself, step into your sensuality, create a sacred space, get yourself a candle, get yourself flowers, have a mirror, put some vibey music, and spend time just pleasuring yourself in a beautiful way. And it's not even just those pleasure practices, it's about doing things that bring you pleasure in life. Reading a good book because you want to, like as I went into this personal development world, which I love, right? I love coaching, I love all the things, and I love reading books that sharpen my mind. At the same time, at some point, I felt starved for novels. I felt starved for stories. So now I've been reading all these books that have to do with Rumi. Now I'm like reading the 40 Rules of Love, which talks about the teachings of love. It talks about Rumi, and there are stories in there, and this I feel sharpens my mind and brings me pleasure. I'll also have no problem picking up a romance novel or picking up a fiction novel, whatever it is. Do things for pleasure. Maybe you love gardening and it brings you joy. Do things that don't have an evaluation mark at the end and that fill your cup. So this goes a lot with being a little more self-centered. It's not about being selfish, but it's about saying what brings you pleasure in this life and to give yourself that pleasure. And I really still want to emphasize to do a pleasure practice here and there. If you're not sure, I don't have any videos yet on my YouTube channel about this, but maybe they'll come in the future. There are videos on YouTube to just go and look for that, because for the longest time I thought that was wrong to do. But the more I practice, like just going into these pleasure practices, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, the more I just felt grounded, whole, good. Because a woman who does not lean into her pleasure is going to seek it externally. But you are that beautiful source of pleasure. And I will say, it allows you to have more pleasure with your partner if you are in a relationship. Okay, so we actually have two more traits. So a woman in her dark feminine, she has the pleasure and she plays, right? This is also an aspect of the light feminine, like that creativity I find is very much a light feminine energy. But think of it this way. For you to have your creativity truly come to light, for you to truly play, you've got to be very comfortable as well with your inner child. And within that inner child, the shadow aspects also of your inner child. She is not afraid of her darkness. She does not run away. In fact, when you run away and you push it off, that's what makes you go into that over-giving, over-indulging, people-pleasing, pushover energy. Embrace your darkness. Embrace the parts of your life where things were a lot darker and you potentially don't feel like that you were maybe good enough, or that trigger that for you. Like for instance, myself, I'm born in Iran. I come from Iran. It's a beautiful country. There's so much magic. There's also a lot of darkness. I was literally born in a war. There was a lot of trauma for my inner child for me to actually dive into. And for the first, I would say 2 decades plus, maybe more. Actually, the first time I did an inner child meditation, I was in my early 30s, which is mind-blowing for me right now. But I kept running away from that darkness. I was like, no, I can't face that. I'm not strong enough. It doesn't matter. It's okay. So many other people are born in war. So many other people go through so many more traumatic things. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, well, spend time with that inner child, girl. If you want to be that woman who truly flows and truly feels confident and empowered, stand still with her. Acknowledge her, acknowledge the pain. It's only when we acknowledge our shadow self that we can extract the wisdom, that we can extract the magic of life. And going into the different goddesses, I think of the goddess Kali, who's the kind of the goddess of destruction. When you embrace your shadow self, you begin to destruct paradigms that are no longer relevant in your life in a vertical way versus a horizontal way. So what I mean by this is that when you step into your darkness, the shadow, and you really choose to witness it, you can extract the wisdom and you burn down paradigms that don't serve you, versus, and when I think of it this way, I think of it burning in a vertical way, saying, hey, being in potentially this relationship with these standards doesn't work. No. And you burn it down and you build something better, versus a woman who runs away from those shadows and is afraid of that will start to burn things on a horizontal level, right? Having temper tantrums here and there, getting into the same relationship patterns, falling in love with potential over and over giving, and keeps creating chaos, but actually burning things down in the proper way and reconstructing her reality in a way that serves her. Let me know if that lands with you, because this one is, for me, one of the most important elements. And now we've arrived to the final part. A woman in her dark feminine is an excellent receiver. And if you follow all the traits before, of course you're an excellent receiver, because you have beautiful standards so that the people around you are trustworthy as well, right? You have clear boundaries. You love on yourself. You acknowledge the pleasure of being with you. You are a beautiful, powerful goddess. You're a queen. You take care of yourself. And so it's very natural for you to receive what you actually desire. And I'll share something with you. Before I met my husband, I was not a very good receiver, despite so many men trying to give me gifts, and it just was always very awkward, and I never wanted to take anything because I was like, I don't want to owe them. That's a mindset thing, by the way. You don't owe anyone anything. I had no problem receiving, going on dinner dates and this and that, but I never felt worthy or comfortable to receive more. Before I met my husband, I decided to truly learn how to love myself. I began to do those shadow work. And when my husband came, I was in a complete different place than any other time I've met a man in my life. And he treated me with so much love, so much respect. The energy between us was just like on point from the get-go. And about 1 month into our relationship, he bought me a really beautiful, expensive watch. And I remember that moment so well because he wasn't sure if I was able to receive it. And I won't get into the details of it, but I knew within myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm totally able to receive this. And I don't feel like I owe him. It's a beautiful gift and I'm willing to receive. And so it created like an even better dynamic between him and I. And beyond physical gifts, a woman who is deep in her knowing and isn't afraid of her shadow self, right? Does that inner child work, is able to experience her intuition, step into pleasure, takes care of her vessel. She feels safer to receive bigger amounts of love. I will tell you, hands down, manifesting a relationship, a lot of women who are not in a relationship think that that's the hardest thing. It's not, okay? And the most challenging part is growing through and with that relationship. Allowing yourself to receive more love. Because your man, your husband, will want to provide for you. He will want to give. A man in his divine masculine energy naturally wants to give. A woman is meant to receive. Just think of the anatomy, okay, of how men and women get together, all right? Women receive, men give. So a woman who is afraid of her shadow self will be afraid of that love, will be afraid to receive that. And so a woman in her dark feminine has truly allowed herself to understand she is worthy to receive, she also minds who she receives from. Because I'm not going to take a gift from anyone or, you know, just open up my heart to anyone, right? I follow my intuition. Follow your intuition, follow your instincts, play. Allow yourself to be clear on your standards, clear on your boundaries. I hope this video served you, beautiful soul. I know I'm a little more low energy today. I'm a lot more tired. I was like, oh, maybe this will work actually for this dark feminine energy video. And until the next video, I'm sending you so much love and I can't wait to see you then. Bye.